If I can't have Braden the Masters, then I don't want anyone at all. We can go.
Hi friends, the day has finally come. We have the Wallows concert tonight. I think it's currently 2, I think it's almost 3 actually. And I just thought I'd get ready with you. And I'm just trying to remain calm. I honestly have been trying not to cry since I've been seeing people post their concert videos and photos from last night in Seattle. I'm just like over the moon. I'm obviously super excited, but I just feel so emotional, I guess. I don't think I've ever felt this way for a concert, and that's saying a lot. But honestly, I was looking at the set list that they did in Seattle last night, and I'm so excited to hear some of these live. Like hearing Scrawny live. 1980s horror film is one of my favorites. I know it's controversial, but I love 1980s horror film, either one. But I think they're playing 1980s horror film too. Fun fact, in case you didn't know, that's the song that inspired my song, Only 17. So on that same kind of note, I'm super excited because some of the songs on the set list are like their older songs, right? Like Pleaser or Treacherous Doctor, Remember When. And I remember backtracking a little bit in case you're new here. I haven't actually talked about it here before. Basically, I started listening to Wallows over quarantine when Are You Bored Yet was really popular on TikTok because I didn't watch 13 Reasons Why and I just wasn't really exposed to their music before. Started listening to them and I fell in love. I was so inspired. And then so I remember they announced like a virtual tour. It was their Live at the Roxy tour and they had 4 nights and they just live streamed like a pre-recorded concert, and then before the concert or sometimes after they would do a live Q&A, and I just remember attending those shows and being like, this is the closest thing I'm ever gonna get to hearing them live for who knows how long, because we were just like at the beginning of COVID and I was like, who knows. So first, like looking back and thinking about, sorry, I'm trying so hard not to cry. My challenge is to not cry before getting to the concert. I don't think that's gonna happen because I've been fighting it all morning and all of last night. Not that crying is bad or embarrassing or anything, it's just I know that once I start, I won't stop. Anyways, so I remember watching those live concerts at the Roxy and getting to know them through the Q&As before, and just absolutely loving who they were and how they interacted with fans and each other and their just everything that they are and what they stand for. And so seeing them perform was a whole different thing. They have such good stage presence, and you know, they were performing to an empty room, and to have it you wouldn't even know. And that's so much talent, and seeing their creativity and their energy and the way they play off of each other, it was so inspiring. And I wanted to do that. Sorry. I wanted to experience that. Both like experiencing them and getting to see that in person, but also experience that for myself. And that's the whole reason why I started releasing at least making music in the first place, like actually sitting down, recording and finishing songs. And that's why I wrote my first EP called Do Not Release, and I originally didn't even intend on releasing it to the public. I was just gonna make it and send it to my friends, hence why it's called Do Not Release. But then they just inspired me so much and I wanted to do what they did and I wanted to experience that for myself. Sorry. And it just inspired me completely. And so I released it, and then once I did, I fell in love with the process and how making and releasing music and promoting it and all of that, how that made me feel. And so I continued. And so of course they inspire so much of my music and how I write and what I talk about and just everything, absolutely everything. So I feel like it just means so much to me to be able to go tonight. Like, I'm so grateful. And looking back at, you know, like 2 years ago now, where I was then with my music, where they were then with their music, and looking at where we all are now. Sorry. And it's just so crazy. And again, that's why I released Braden the Masters, because I mean, obviously I love Braden, but it was, in the grand scheme of things, it was a callback to the reason why I even kept doing music and why I'm, you know, slowly building up and trying to take music seriously. So it was supposed to be like a thank you and a means of connecting with the Wallows community. And so I'm super excited to experience that in real life and listen to the songs live that inspired me to make my own songs. So it means a lot. I think I'm gonna move on because I'm gonna start sobbing and I need to put my makeup on. So for the fit today, of course, I'm wearing the Braden Masters shirt. I finally cropped it, just some black leggings. I'll be wearing my Air Forces because it makes me a little bit taller. I have second row and I'm very, very, very grateful to be second row and like towards Braden's side. So I'm like kind of left center, so I'm super excited. But then I've just got, I wanted my hair down but kind of out of the way, so I've got the braids. The only thing that bothers me is that this hair tie is bigger than this one, but I couldn't find another one of these, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. I'm just gonna do some light makeup. I'm all dressed and ready, like my hair is done, but it's really just makeup and then getting all my stuff together. So my sniffling just scared the life out of my cat. He's trying to sleep right now. Yeah, if you're not like a Wallows listener, I highly recommend that you go listen to them right now. You know what's funny? Not funny. So basically I got a text, well I got a DM from one of my friends. He was like, oh my god, Selena, and then he's like, I just met Wallows at the Jappa Dog downtown. And I'm like, what?
Congratulations! Oh my god.
And then he sent a picture with Cole. I mean, not Cole. Cole is the only one who wasn't in there. But pretty much with like Dylan, Braden, and the touring band. I'm like, I knew I should have gone earlier. But anyways, it's fine. It's fine. Everything happens for a reason, and I'm happy that he got to meet them. And it was just kind of like coincidence because I don't think he's going to the concert either, so his luck. But I still feel like no matter what happens tonight, I am just super grateful to go and again see the people and the process who inspired me. So although it's really cloudy today, even though the past 2 days have been pretty sunny, and so now I can't really see my makeup. I don't know if you can tell, but I am shaking. I have actually been shaking all morning just out of excitement. So I honestly don't even know what's going to happen at the concert tonight or how I'm gonna handle that. So wish me luck. Wait, I already made that joke in the last video. I can't think of anything else right now. Also, I don't know if I shared this before, but my mom is coming with me because when I originally bought the tickets, I had something more like in the center, like the second row, I think in my same row, but a little bit closer to the center. But when I went to check out, I guess, I don't know, something glitched or maybe somebody else beat me to the tickets and like checking out. So when I actually checked out, it gave me tickets up like off the floor and towards the back. So then I bought new tickets because then my current VIP ones. And so I was having troubles finding somebody to sell it to, but like I said before, because of me listening to Wallows all the time, my mom really likes their stuff and she knows how much they mean to me and my own music. So she was like, you know, I'll go. And I was like, okay, perfect. I heard, I don't know if it's gonna work, but I heard that they pick somebody but it basically one of the songs in their encore, they get the audience to decide. So I made just a small sign that says my mom wants to hear Trust Fall because Trust Fall is her favorite song. It's definitely one of my favorite songs, but I don't think I could choose like one favorite, but it's definitely up there. And then I made another sign that says I wrote a song called Braden the Masters. But these are just small signs because I want to be like considerate, especially since I'm second row. But I saw on Conan Gray's Instagram this person in the audience who had a sign that was literally just the size of printer paper, and they just had like text on it, and then to make it sturdier they put like packing tape on it. I was like, that's so smart because then you can like fold it up in your bag easier and then it's not taking up that much like space visually for like the people behind you. So I thought that was awesome, and then I wanted to do that. So shout out to that person who inspired me. I'll put their picture here because that was so smart. I don't know why I never thought of that before. This was a massive fail. I'm not usually this bad, but it has been a while. I definitely need to restart. I have never had that much trouble doing eyeliner. I tried it twice, and even just doing a normal liner, not winged, was a struggle. I really think I'm still like, I'm like really shaking. So I definitely had a part in it, but then I also am running out of the Kat Von D liner, so I started using the Ariana Grande REM one. Makeup is done, very simple, not as dramatic as I want it to be, but I feel like this works better together than with a wing. At least that's what I'm telling myself, because I just couldn't do the wing. Now I think I just need to start collecting my stuff. It's just after 3. We did it without crying. I have like signed all of my little handout businessy cards, I guess. They're not really business cards. I'll show you when we get into the car. I've put my Instagram on that, my Instagram and TikTok, which is I think also the same as my Twitter. So I think I finally calmed down a little bit. Also, this could be totally in my head, but because especially since it rains a lot here in Vancouver, but I find that some of my best concerts have been when it's raining, and it is pouring rain out, and it just gave me flashbacks to like my favorite R5 concert that I had when it was the exact same weather. It was in April too. April is just a good month for me. So I have a good feeling about this concert. I mean, no matter what, obviously I knew it was gonna be good, but I just feel like it's gonna be that much better because the weather told me. Alright, so when I got there was the lineup to get in because I had VIP, and so that just meant early entrance and some free merch. Or I guess not free because we're paying for it, but exclusive merch, I guess. But I would say this is one of the smoothest VIP experiences that I've ever had. When you walk in, you walk up to the table where they give you the VIP merch. So it's a Tell Me That It's Over tote bag, which is a really good size. I'm very excited about that. Velvety Wallows hat, a signed poster, the VIP lanyard, and I believe that's it. And then once you've gotten that, you can wait in line for the merch. I got the hoodie, the bucket hat, oh sorry, the green hoodie. I got my mom the yellow Tell Me That It's Over hat, the blue Tell Me That It's Over shirt, and the zine. So in all honesty, I hadn't really listened to Spill Tab before the show, but she was incredible and the bassist amazing. They put on such a good show. And something that was really inspiring to me was how she was talking about that she once did like the merch during a Gus Dapperton tour, and then got to open for him for a different tour, and they collaborated on a song together. And I'm like, girl, drop the tutorial. How do I get into this? How do I do this for Wallows? You know?
Here's the thing, we started out friends. It was cool, but it was all pretend. Yeah, since you've been gone. This is actually spoken word poetry slam.
To be honest, I didn't cry as much during the concert. I would have realizations every once in a while that they're literally right in front of me. And this is just one of those times, so excuse the ugly crying. Should know that I fall easily. Do you remember that time I lost my common sense, but you kept... Alright, so after the show, people were lined up outside by their tour buses to meet them because they had done that the previous night in Seattle. But in Seattle, it looked a little bit more organized, and I don't think the Orpheum was ready for that. I don't want to discredit the Orpheum, but with the way that there was no barricade, but once they came out, everybody was shoving things at them, running up to them, taking photos with them, getting to sign stuff, and they handled it super well. But still, like, I remember looking at like Brayden and Dylan, and like they just looked so overwhelmed. Like the fear in their eyes, I felt terrible. So naturally I kept my distance. I was just happy to look at them. So I got my video, really did not want to add onto that pressure. Even just kind of being there after seeing how it all went down, I felt terrible. But in like, again, I saw the Seattle videos, and there was a fence, there was some sort of barricade, and it was a lot more organized and less chance of them being overwhelmed. It looked like they had a better time meeting fans after the show in Seattle. So please, if you're going to a show and if you're going to wait for them to come out, please do not do this. Don't push them up against the wall to force them to take a video with you. Please don't do whatever you see here, because I felt terrible. Again, I don't want to blame anybody in particular. It's that herd mentality, but it's super overwhelming, and I would hate to be in that position. So, but I'd also like to say the Orpheum security was really good with fans. Before they came out, they were super engaging, and they would talk to all the fans, and they were really friendly. And again, at other events, some of the security weren't that friendly, or they wouldn't really engage with fans, and they were actually quite rude, but this was not the case at the Wallows concert. So the Orpheum staff was really good, the security was really good, but I just think there was a small mishap in anticipating that fans were going to wait and that they didn't have enough time to prepare once they saw fans standing there waiting. But also, as a community, like, we should be taking care of them and respecting their well-being. So that's my PSA, taking things on a more serious note before moving on. Hi friends, we're back. I thought I'd give you a little bit of a rundown of my experience. It is now Tuesday. The concert was on Saturday, so it's been a little bit. But honestly, I needed time to process everything. I am still processing everything because it just felt so surreal. I don't know. I think I was running on adrenaline the whole time, and it was absolutely incredible. And pretty much from Friday even till today, I try not to cry thinking about it. So tears of joy, of course, but because I'm super thankful that I got to go, and at just how it all went. It was so much more than I thought it would be and what would happen, and I'm super thankful. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a rundown because the people there were so incredibly nice. Not that I expected them to be like mean or rude or anything, but just I felt the love and support since, as I mentioned earlier, I wore my Brand the Masters shirt, and then I had cards that I was giving out where you could scan the Spotify code. And so when I went around the lobby handing the cards out, everybody was super supportive and was like, oh my god, yeah, I'll listen to it. I just felt so much support, and then a lot of people came up to me saying that they liked my shirt. And honestly, the promo worked because I know it's not a lot, but it's a lot for me, and I'm very grateful that since the concert we've gone up 35 streams, and I went from like 37 monthly listeners to like 57 monthly listeners just in that like 48-hour period. So I'm super thankful. So huge thank you to anybody who has streamed it or is going to, or saved it, or even just interacted with me and took the card and was nice about it. Even if you didn't listen, thank you for being nice. Or if you just came up and said that you liked my shirt. So I really appreciate it. But there was this one specific time when I was waiting in line before the doors opened, and there are these two girls behind me, and they were super sweet. So I was like, hey, could you do me like a huge favor? You know, because my mom wasn't in yet. This was before the doors opened to the general. And so I was like, could you take a picture of me? And one of the girls was like, yeah, of course, oh my god. And then she was hyping me up during the pictures. It was so cute. She really knew how to hype a girl up. We got some really good pictures, so very thankful to her and her friend. And then I promoted it to them, and they were very receptive. So shout out to them. I wish I got more of their information, but that's all I have. Just to make things even better, the people I was sitting around were just so sweet. Everybody, again, not that I expected people to be rude or not to be nice, but they're just so much like kinder and supportive than I thought. I don't know really what I expected, but I'm just super thankful for the people that were around me. I guess because in my previous years of going to concert, like pre-COVID, I didn't really have that connection, but I was also like really young, so it was a little bit more nerve-wracking for me to put myself out there and like talk to these people and create that community. But I really got to do that this time, and again, people were very receptive. So if I met you at the concert, if you came up to me, and if you're watching this, I just want to say you were the sweetest person, and it meant a lot to me. I made a lot of really good memories, and it's something I'm going to cherish for a very long time. Now I wanted to move on to the highlights of my night. I still want to cry thinking about it because it was a whole ordeal. But to start, so I don't think I mentioned this at the beginning of the vlog, but basically I wanted to throw one of those cards that like the Braden and the Masters cards where you can scan the Spotify code up on the stage, because I don't know if I've said this before, but he liked 2 of my posts on Instagram where I was promoting the music video and the behind the scenes video and the song as a whole. So I wanted to like throw that up there, but I was trying to figure out of a way that I could do that. So I remembered that I had a Michael Myers little candy tin. They're really small. I remember telling my friend, and she thought it was like a massive like lunchbox tin. I'm like, why would I throw that? No. It was super small. It was really like that big and like that thick. Like it's a small little candy tin. So then I thought that was perfect because obviously he loves Halloween, so do I, and that was one of the things, a part of my music video, right? So I took out the candy, and then on the inside I wrote like Selena Adams, and then I stuck a card on the inside because my original plan was to stick it on the outside, but I thought, you know, what if that falls off when I'm throwing it, so I'll put one inside just in case. And so I was getting, I knew I wanted to throw it, and I wanted to throw it after a 1980s horror film because I was like, that's just perfect. But I did it when the lights went down so I wouldn't get in trouble. I mean, other people were throwing stuff on stage, but I didn't want to risk it. So the lights went out and I threw it, but I didn't want to hit him, so I threw it kind of off. But then when I did it, he turned around to grab his other guitar, so he didn't see it coming, and it landed on the floor right beside where the guitar was, but because the lights were off, he just grabbed the guitar and went back to his mic stand. So I was trying to figure out a way to get his attention to like show him, and then eventually when they were playing Uncomfortable, so Brayden walks over like closer to our side of the stage, and so he stops and he's like looking around, so like I wave at him and he waved back, and I was like, oh my god. So then I was like frantically pointing at the stage like where it was, so we kind of like looked and then like clued into what I was doing. So then he like was trying to look around, he didn't see it at first, so he looked and he was like over here, and then I was like yeah like, and I kept pointing, and so he found it, and so he went over and he pointed to it, and then he turned around and was like, thank you, and I lost it. But I wasn't recording because I was freaking out, so I wasn't recording that part. Of course, the one part that you don't record is when that kind of stuff happens, right? And so I'm gonna tell you the experience and then the whole thing that I went through to get these videos that I'm showing you. So the second time, I'm just telling myself this, but I'm pretty sure he saw I wrote a song called Brayden LeMaster's Sign. I am completely delusional, so it's probably in my head, but I swear we made eye contact during Scrawny, and then like he read the poster and like smiled and laughed. Again, probably in my mind, but let me have this. Let me be delusional. Who am I hurting? Who am I hurting? Let me think that. So that was one of the smaller things, but on the topic of signs, so as you saw earlier, I wrote a sign that said, my mom wants to do a trust fall. So when they were explaining how they were going to pick a fan to choose the encore song, I like switched my sign around to the trust fall side. And so I held it up, and then thankfully, Brayden saw it, and he like pointed and he read it because he laughed and then pointed, so he knew that he was acknowledging the sign. And we made eye contact, and then he was like, he laughed and he's like, well, we could, and I was like, you should. So excuse my screaming in the video. It was a big moment for me. They did not end up playing Trust Fall, but the fact that he saw it and thought it was funny, I made Brayden laugh, guys.
We should do it! Maybe this didn't work tonight, actually. Maybe this didn't work tonight, actually.
And then shortly after, thank you to those who threw the rose onto the stage. I know who you are, but one of them is, you'll see one of their videos, but thank you to them, because after they threw the rose onto the stage, it reminded Brayden to go pick mine up. So he gave the rose to Dan, and then you see him bend down and pick up the tin with the card facing up. So he sees the card first and then flips it around, sees the Michael Myers part, and then he like turns it around to the audience, and he remembered I wasn't paying attention because I was looking at Dylan and trying to show him the trust fall sign. So when I was recording Dylan, and I was holding up the sign, and then I just happened to look at the right time when he like showed the tin to the audience, and he remembered where I was, and he made sure to show it to me and be like, nice, thank you, like that's cool. But I was so devastated that I didn't have the video. I just had the video of Dylan and me screaming, that was me, while he picked it up and showed it to the audience.
Alright, we have a winner, okay?
But as you'll see in these videos, after he turns away, he looks at the card side again and reads it and then puts it down on the amp. So I don't know if he remembered. I'd like to think that he would remember, but even just the fact that he remembered to pick it up and that it was me meant the world to me. But of course, because it meant so much, I wanted these videos so badly. So I went through every account on Twitter that posted videos or photos from the Vancouver concert. I went through Wallows' Instagram page and their like tagged photos, and I went and DM'd every single person who posted about the Vancouver concert, asking them for these videos. But it worked. It worked because we got the videos as you just saw, so all credit goes to them. Thank you so much to anybody who sent a video. Not all of them are featured here. I just featured the ones that you could best see what I was trying to describe, but I'm so thankful for any quality video, for any angle. If you got the moment, I am so happy that you did and that you were willing to look and send it to me. It just made me feel so supported, and everybody I talked to was super, super nice. And even if they didn't have the video, they were like, oh, I hope you find it, or like they'd ask their friend, they were like, maybe my friend was recording. Huge thank you. But I just want to say first that within my search, somebody sent me a video of myself holding the Braden Lemaster sign, so here it is. So huge thank you. Go check out Bowen's YouTube channel, which is in the credit, but I'll also link it down below. I just thought that was so iconic, and I was so honored that they noticed and took a video. See, the promo worked. So anyways, thank you so much to everybody who responded, and even if you didn't have it, I'm so thankful for your time and energy that you took to either look or ask your friend or even just to respond and was open to having that conversation. I really, really appreciate it, so thank you. I am just forever grateful. I can't emphasize that enough, that I have these videos of those moments. And then fast forward to the end when with my own videos now, I made sure to watch just in case he didn't like pick it up. I just wanted to know, for like my own sake of mind, like it wouldn't offend me. It didn't matter to me because I know that they can't keep everything, and that, you know, you forget, things happen. Like there's so much going on. Like if you didn't remember, I wouldn't be offended and I wouldn't be mad. I just would want to know for my own like peace of mind, so I'm not like left wondering, oh, did he grab it, blah blah blah. So I have a video of him picking up the tin off of the amp, and then picking up his sweater, then going to walk off stage. And as he walks off stage, he's like waving goodbye to the crowd, right? But he's waving with the tin in his hand with the card side out. So I have screenshots, it is now my lock screen, of him holding up the tin with the Braden Lemaster's card on the outside. It's not very clear, but you can see because on the cover art, it's a drawing that I did of me, and then a drawing that I did of Braden. So I have screenshots of Braden basically holding the card, and that's all I could ever want in life. A picture of him with the album art for Braden Lemaster. Like, it's real. It's real. And when I tell you, I saw watching those videos and taking those screenshots and then realizing that he was holding the album art for my song Braden Lemaster. I wish I was joking. Like, I wish I was exaggerating. But I'm not saying like that I cried or that I have been crying to be like relatable or quirky. I'm just being honest. I wish I was over exaggerating with the amount of times that I've cried thinking about it, but I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful. I would have never imagined. I never thought that anything like that would or could happen, especially, you know, because I wrote the song late 2020 and then I only released it at the beginning of this year because I held on to it because I was like, you know, in case I need my meme song. Everybody needs to have a meme song. I was like, I'll have this on the back burner. So just if you went back and told me, even the version of me who was just like recording and making the music video, that he like just noticed it on Instagram twice, let alone seeing my sign and then holding the card, and I have a picture of him holding the card, is just insane to me. So I'm super, super grateful. I don't think I can say that enough. It just means a lot to me. So thank you to everybody who made that night so, so special. It literally meant the world to me, and I'm very, very, very happy that I got to go. If you've watched all like 20 something minutes of this, huge props to you. Thank you for sticking around. I hope you enjoyed, and stream Braden Lemaster because Braden practically said so. Okay, bye. You're never gonna know that I exist. But I can still try to manifest. But I'm nobody, and I'm probably